Hi everyone, it's Ian here from Crack Maths and welcome to tutorial 60 on how to identify the mode from a collection of data. Okay, so the mode is what we call a type of average. So it's a measure that we use to represent data and to kind of give people a bit of information about some data quite quickly. Okay, so the mode specifically means the most common occurrence. Okay, so we could have this from a list of numbers. So say, for example, we had a list of numbers here, 2, 4, 6, 4, 2, 8, 4. Okay, so we've got some numbers here. If we wanted to find the mode from this group of numbers, what we'd have to do is identify the number that appears the most often. To me, this looks like I can see that I've got 3 4s here, and that is more 4s than there is of any other number. The next closest thing is the 2s. There's 2 2s, but that isn't as many as 3 4s. So the mode of this data is 4. It's not 3 because there's 3 of them. It's the actual piece of data that appears the most often. You can also find the mode of a group of things. So, for example, let's say I've got a list of colours here. I've got red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, and green. Okay, so I've got several colours there. Now, what I can see here is I have got 3 reds and I've got 3 greens. So, actually, in this circumstance, we have got 2 modes. Okay, and that's fine. Now, you can have as many modes as you like, as long as there is something in the list that isn't the mode, if that makes sense. If everything's the mode, then we say that there's no mode. But in this question, what we would say is there's 2 modes, and we'd call that bimodal. Okay, bi means 2, so this is bimodal. In functional skills maths, we're required to identify the mode from several different circumstances. So we're asked to identify it from a bar chart and from a frequency table. Okay, so let's have a look at a bar chart. Here I've got a bar chart which shows a group of imaginary people's favourite mode of motorised transport, either boat, train, plane or car. And the mode of this is going to be the highest bar, okay? So if I have a look, I can see here that train has the highest bar by it. So if I was asked what was the mode for the favourite transport, the mode would be train, okay? Because that is the piece of data that has appeared most often. If you think about how I formed this bar chart would have come from a list. So the list might have looked like boat, 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 train, 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 plane, plane, car, okay? So that's what the list might have looked like. The train is the mode because the train is the most popular answer, okay? So that is what the mode is. Now, whilst I'm talking about this, actually, I just reminded to tell you that the mode is useful because it tells us the thing that most people do. Okay, so we've got different types of average. We've got mean, median, and mode. Okay, and they all have their uses. But the mode's USP is that it tells you what is most popular. So, for example, if you opened a shop and you wanted to know what size shoes to stock, you wouldn't want a different type of average for that because that's not going to tell you what's going to sell. Okay, you're going to want to use the mode because the mode is the thing that sells the most. There's one more way that we have to look at the mode, and that is from a frequency table. Okay, so this time I've got the same survey, but I've written it in a frequency table, and it's been asked to different people. So what we can see here is frequency refers to the number of people that have given that answer. So in this table, we have 4 people that have said boat, we've got 2 people that have said train, we've got 7 people that have said plane, and we've had 3 people that have said car. Okay, so in this table, I can see that the mode is going to be plane because 7 people have said plane. Okay, so plane is by far the most popular form of transport in this table, so therefore the mode is plane. The mode, actually, very interestingly, is the only average that we have that is also useful for words. Okay, you can't find the others for words. So you can't find the mean of words, you can't find the median of words. You can only find the mode of words. So anything like favourite colour, favourite car, favourite country, favourite food, all of these things can only really be represented by the mode. Let's have a look at some questions. Okay, so here we go. We've got practice question 1 here. And it says here, in a video game, the following scores were achieved: 22, 40, 25, 22, 75, 22, and 80. What is the modal score? Okay, great. So in this question, we can clearly see that there are more 22s than any other number, so the modal score for this data would be 22. Let's have a look at question 2. So in question 2, it says, a bar chart has been drawn to represent data on people's favourite pasta shape. What is the mode of this data? Okay, so what is the mode? What is the most popular pasta shape? So I don't know if this is true, but according to this bar chart, we can see that fusilli is the highest bar. So according to this bar chart, the mode for the favourite type of pasta is fusilli. Okay, let's have a look at question 3. Okay, question 3 shows us a frequency table, and the question says, the frequency table shows us the results of a survey into people's favourite summer month of June, July and August. What is the mode from this data? And so if we look at this, we're looking for the highest frequency, and the highest frequency appears to be this 14, which is by August. So we would say that the mode for this data is August. If you want more practice at those, head over to crackmaths.co.uk. This is tutorial 60. Otherwise, stick with me now and we'll start to look at some scenario questions. Okay, so this scenario question 1 reads, students were asked to the nearest hour, how many hours did they study for an exam? The table shows the results. What is the modal interval for hours studied? So the table, we can see we've got several things here. We've got hours studied, got intervals here. So when it says modal interval, it's referring to which one of these groups is the most popular. So the intervals that we have, we've got 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, and 21 to 25. If we look down the frequency, remember the frequency tells us how many people picked each one of these intervals. We can see that the modal interval is going to be 6 to 10 because that has a frequency of 15, which is higher than all of the other numbers. Okay, great. That was how to find the mode from a collection of data. If you want to go practice that now, you can head over to crackmaths.co.uk. This was tutorial 60. Otherwise, I will see you in another tutorial. So long.